Hi friends, my name is Jen and welcome to the Book Refuge. And today we are continuing our Hogwarts series and we are taking on the wonderful house of Hufflepuff. I have a great love for the Hufflepuffs as like all of my friends are either Hufflepuffs or I have like one Ravenclaw, otherwise they all Hufflepuffs. So I'm surrounded by them and I adore them. And if you don't know, because you live under a rock, the traits of House Hufflepuff are just and loyal, patient, and unafraid of toil. Some of their bad traits can be that they are a pushover, they're too safe, and they're easily frustrated. So good to remember because Hufflepuffs can go bad just like anybody else can. So good to remember. But let us dive in. And they're, just as a reminder, these are who I view as Hufflepuffs based on the traits and just how they make me feel when I read them. Granted, only they and J.K. Rowling would know who they really are, but this is my interpretation of them. You're welcome to disagree. It was really fun. I had some people disagree with some people in my Ravenclaw one, and that's totally fine with me. I mean, I'm not a Hufflepuff, so I can't 100% say who's in mine and who's not. So let us get started. As is tradition in these, I have someone from Outlander, and for me, that would be young Ian Murray. Now, he definitely could fit into Gryffindor, and I totally get that. But I'm going to talk about, obviously, why I think he's in Hufflepuff. He starts out these books definitely in Hufflepuff. Arguments can be made for, at the end of a certain book, him stepping up into Gryffindor. Not that it's a step up, but just his character changes. Your character changes over the years. Pardon me if you're hearing a noise. It snowed last night. There's a snowplow right outside my door because winter won't leave us. Anyway, but he is so loyal to his family. He is always lots of fun. He's always getting into a little bit of mischief, and he's unafraid of hard work. In fact, he's always volunteering to do different missions or jobs, and like that can be seen as Gryffindor. But for me, I'm saying Hufflepuff. That's where he is for me. That is what I love about him. I see him as a sweet Hufflepuff, and later on things may change, but that's who he is for me. Moving right along, from the Lunar Chronicles, I have Cress, who is just the sweetest little cream puff ever. I adore her. She is so smart and kind and just a little bit of a nervous Nelly. Like, I think she has, a couple of the bad traits as well. Like she doesn't always have a backbone. But that changes, that's what's great about a book series. You grow. And I really love Cress. Her book was my favorite until the last one came out because the last one was amazing to me. But I just love her. And I just think she really embodies a lot of like the kindness and patience even that you'd find in Hufflepuff. Next, I have a new favorite lady of mine who a lot of people already liked before me, but that is Lemon Fresh from Lifelike. OMG, Lemon Fresh is so great, and she's totally Hufflepuff. She's so loyal to her friend, which I totally forgot the name of, which is stupid. Eve, Anna. What name is it? Who knows? That about a month and a half ago, this book blew my mind. And part of it was the friendship between the gang that we have. And I just really love Lemon Fresh. And I feel like she's going to have a much bigger role in Deviate. So I'm very excited about that because of some things that went down. And if you haven't read Lifelike yet, I don't know what else I can say to you. It is an Anastasia reimagined in like dystopian America, and it's amazing. It's so good, and like, it's amazing. Next, I have someone who was very unpopular for me, and in some regards, his Hufflepuff traits went bad in some cases. But maybe he redeemed himself. Who knows? But I have Kale from the Throne of Glass series. I feel like this book, represents a turn in his character. But when I was looking at the traits, he is just and loyal. He is very patient in like the earlier books with, dealing with Dorian and just like trying to protect him and take care of him. As well as he's unafraid of hard work. He's the captain of the guard. His work is his life. But he also likes to play things too safe, and he is easily frustrated. And, pig-headedly loyal in some cases. If you've read this, you know what I'm talking about. So he's a case of someone who, for me, he really fits the whole Hufflepuff. And yeah, and he's also really badass. Like, you know, Hufflepuff deserves those type of people. They do. And so that's why I put him there. Next, y'all know that I had to do this one, and it is the sweetest cream puff of bread that there is, and that is Peeta Mellark from the Hunger Games series. This dude is definitely a Hufflepuff. And while he, like, there are no hard spots in him, at least at the beginning of this series. Like, obviously going through the Hunger Games puts some in there, but this guy, he's very self-sacrificing and very loyal to Katniss. When, you know, I just reread this book this month, and even when, like, she can't accept it, he's like, I am loyal to you. I'm going to make sure that you live even at the cost of my own. And she doesn't even understand why. And that is really exciting to me. So Peeta, you get a gold star for Hufflepuff, and Katniss doesn't deserve you as a friend and an ally, and, you know, that's a thing. A couple more here. Next, again, is a new Hufflepuff for me, and that is Kelton from Dry. I just read this book last month. Kelton is, it's really hard to describe him, but, you know, the case in this book is that part of California is going into not just a drought, but like they're out of water. Like the taps stop running one day, and everyone is not prepared for it, except for Kelton's family, who his parents have been preparing for the apocalypse for years. Although we don't know whether this is going to go full-blown apocalypse or not when you start the book. This is also a standalone, which is really cool because, you know, we don't come across those super often. And he just is it's so hard to describe because he doesn't necessarily like fit these same certain traits. He is very loyal, and he also is pretty patient through some different situations because like he is prepared for this and like nobody else is. And so a lot of times he's having to explain things to people. And he's also kind of a pushover because he kind of sort of like someone in this book. And so he's a bit of a pushover for them. But he just, whenever you're in his point of view, like he just is a Hufflepuff to me. And so again, it's more of a general feeling when I'm reading him than actually being able to pick out the traits perfectly. If anyone else has read this book, I would welcome your opinion on him, on if you thought he fit into a different one. But I just can't see him like in any other house but this one. So that's where he is for me. And then finally, this is very fun for me. I have Mitch from Vicious. We'll definitely be seeing this book again when I do my Slytherins. But Mitch, he is forget the book. He is Victor's sidekick, basically. Does all the computer working for him, makes sure things work out. He is loyal. He's very patient, and he's unafraid of hard work. And he just is. He's a big cinnamon roll, and he's this big tough dude because he's like been in prison and he has tattoos, but like the way he ended up in prison was like kind of an accident, even though like he kind of deserved to be there. But because he was so big and tough, like nobody picked on him. And so like Victor aligns himself with him when he's in prison and decides to like, he kind of like adopts Mitch, and then Mitch, his size and strength kind of like lends itself back to Victor. So it's a good relationship that they have, even though again, Victor doesn't deserve Mitch, which I feel like is a lot of case with Hufflepuffs, is that they're usually paired with, you know, a Slytherin or a Gryffindor because their ego doesn't get in the way, like the Hufflepuffs' ego doesn't get in the way, but that then makes them like, makes their friend like unworthy of them in some ways. Like, I feel that, like I said, all my friends, like all of them are Hufflepuffs, and I always feel like I just push my will over them. Like, we're getting deep into like the Jenn psyche, but my friends will know this. Like, I always have the strong ideas, and because they love me or because they just don't care one way or the other, I always end up doing what I want to do. And so it just makes me really aware of like, to be a good Gryffindor friend of my Hufflepuffs, to like care what they want as well. So anyway, you got a little bit deep in me for that one. So pardon me for the psychoanalysis, but it happens. So anyway, these are some characters that I think fit into Hufflepuff. Let me know what you think. This was really fun. I love Hufflepuffs. They're always the people, they just give me warm and fuzzy. So thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned for my Slytherin house grouping, which will be out soon. I make new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and you can watch some more right now. Bye!